Welcome to Build Brunch, the daily morning show where we talk about the latest topics in entertainment. I'm Brittany Jones-Cooper.
I'm Shannon Coffey.
I'm Allie Culver.
And I'm Lucas Sim. Hi, everyone. Today, we're going to talk about a new app that helps remove your ex from photos and a Victoria's Secret bra that's worth $1 million. Plus, TV personality Sue Aikens from Nat Geo's Life Below Zero stopped by. And later, actress Imogen Poots and director Vladimir Fontenay from the new film Mobile Homes joins the table. But first...
Cardi B is adding a new title to her resume, reality TV judge. The rap superstar is set to host Rhythm and Flow, a 10-part hip-hop talent competition for Netflix that will air in fall 2019. Cardi will be joined by Chance the Rapper along with artist T.I., and the three will serve as executive producers with newly minted EGOT winner John Legend.
Yes.
Ooh, are you so excited for the show?
I'm very... yeah, she won't even judge what she'll just be making sounds the whole time. So,
Yeah.
Cardi, what'd you think of this contestant?
That's all she has to do, right?
I don't know.
Like, if she gave me like an ow, I'd be like, that's the highest honor. Like, thank you so much, Nikki.
Yeah,
Not Nikki, Cardi.
What if you actually fell over and we were like, you were just on the floor
I'm
for the
just
rest
dead.
of the show and we were like, you deserve that.
I'm excited about this because on Instagram, I'm always like seeing new MCs and people rap. Like, it's like a whole culture. Like, there's all these people who are amazing rappers on social media, and there's no place for them like The Voice or American Idol because those are very much for singers. So I'm excited for this, and I think this is going to be an insanely popular show. Like, and I think we're going to get some like amazing talent out of it.
I'm interested to see how this works. I mean, Netflix clearly is like spending $8 billion on content, so I'm not surprised that they've gotten these really big stars to judge this competition show. I'm anxious to see if it works out because as you've seen with Netflix with these late night talk shows, they've struggled. I do think Patriot Act with Hassan Minaj is great and I think will break through and last, but you know, Michelle Wolf, Joel McHale, both those shows got canceled. So I'm excited to see if this works for Netflix because you know, they're taking a very broadcast format show, putting it on Netflix, and is it gonna work? I mean, I don't know if it's a binge show, I don't know if it's live, I don't know those details, so I'm excited. I think the topic's cool, but I'm anxious to see if it actually works on Netflix.
Yeah, and I think one reason it always works on networks is because of that social interaction where it's live and people can vote and call in and text. So I'm interested, like you, is it gonna be episodic? Is it gonna be something where people can vote and then the next week they change it? Like, I think that might increase interest in it.
Yeah, do you prefer competition shows where you can vote or where they just choose it for you? Because sometimes I feel like, I mean, I'm glad that there's not gonna be any country music singers here because I feel like the biggest issue with The Voice is that it's always like country because middle America ruins everything.
Well, that's what happened with American Idol, and a lot of the winners were repeatedly white country artists, and not saying that's a problem, but saying it just was every year, and I'm like, okay, who is voting for American Idol now?
Let's have the judges choose. I think we've lost our... We
Rights
shouldn't be
to
allowed to vote anymore.
I agree.
We've abused it. Let the fucking judges choose.
Yeah, remember when Blake Shelton was voted sexiest man alive and everybody was like, did something happen? Did the apocalypse take place and
every
we just
other
didn't
man
know
died?
that?
Yeah, that was classic.
no
People magazine like, huh, Trump won. Okay, let's appeal to those people. Blake Shelton's the sexiest man. I was like, no.
Yeah.
Even the Trump people were like, no.
No, even Gwen Stefani was like, listen, I'm going through a hard time. Okay, this is a phase.
It's a weird phase I'm in.
And like now it's Idris Elba, which makes sense. But before you're like, imagine like Idris Elba like, oh, but I followed Blake Shelton. He was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, it just makes it just like even better. So I think he's okay with it. I also love the other judges. Obviously, Cardi's gonna be the scene stealer, but T.I., I mean, come on, and Chance the Rapper are other.
Chance the Rapper, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the judge panel is pretty strong. The fact that they got these heavy hitters also means they're spending a lot of money. Like, how much do you think these judges are getting paid? Like,
considerable amount. And it's only 10
7 figures.
There's only 10 episodes too, which is clearly a lot shorter than American Idol The Voice, which lasts like, what, 3 years, one season, or I don't know, it's forever. But yeah, they must be getting $1 million contracts, whatever. But also John Legend, I think he doesn't just put his stamp on anything. I think he's very particular with what he does. So for him to be involved.
Oh, he doesn't put a stamp on anything.
Yeah, I think he's, you know, he's really smart. So I'm really anxious to see how this all turns out.
Yeah, do you guys watch these music shows in general? Like, do you watch The Voice? Do you watch American Idol? There's a new country one, I think, with Shania Twain is
on USA, I saw the people for that.
Why do you need your own? You have all the other ones. I really liked X Factor. I thought X Factor was the best one. I thought they put out the greatest talent.
Is X Factor where the chairs spin around?
No,
that's
the voice.
Yeah.
I thought X Factor was great, and I was sad it didn't translate to America. A lot just because there's oversaturation. Because I think X Factor actually searches for what makes a star. Because can anyone raise a hand to anyone in The Voice who's won that we actually listen to their music? No, no one.
No.
X Factor was looking for like why Madonna and why Beyonce. Why Britney Spears are so great is they have that X factor, that thing, that performance quality, which
like
actually.
X Factor was about Madonna, right?
Yeah. What wasn't it? That's because that's a contest she actually could have won because she can't win any other ones because she can't sing. She's not a great singer. But I think I liked what that one was going for.
Yeah.
Didn't work.
I think Simon Cowell has a really great eye for making stars, and so. I thought X Factor was just the perfect one. I wanted it to eliminate The Voice entirely because The Voice is getting stale.
Ooh, see, I love The Voice
people love
because
The Voice.
Kelly Clarkson and Jennifer Hudson are so much fun. As judges, if Cardi B can get up to that level, it's going to be a success because they are so funny. They bring in this whole new perspective, and they choose really kind of like other talent. So they're not choosing like the country. I do watch.
Wow.
Not regularly. It's one of those things where if I'm home, because it's on like Mondays and Tuesdays. They have like 2 nights.
Oh yeah.
So if I'm home, maybe cooking dinner, I'll like put it on and like I love the auditions. The blind auditions are
Oh yeah, they're great.
amazing.
Yeah.
So I'm a huge fan of these kinds of shows, but the hip hop aspect has been missing. So.
Yeah. Didn't SNL just do a sketch about how like these shows? It's like. Guess who? You won't expect them to be good, but they are.
Oh, it's America. Well, the best thing America's Got Talent is this like this golden buzzer moment when the judges like love just pressing that buzzer, and it's because they have these inspirational journeys or whatever. Like, how are they gonna be good?
Right.
They only have one arm and they have like they sleep with their dogs. Like I don't know, like whatever. But they mean, but they like. But
That's really not the inspirational journey I think.
Sorry, whatever.
No,
I don't know.
sometimes they are very like ableist.
Yeah.
They're like, can you believe this person has a talent? And you're like,
No,
hey,
I
be
was
nice.
commenting on the part where he said they sleep with their dogs.
Either whatever. Usually it's some story. I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
But it's more normal.
Jenna was like, that part didn't.
Yeah, people don't. I thought we all had pets for the same reason.
Yeah, right.
Oh.
Anyway, yes, they do that thing where it's like the inspirational journey. American will do that too, though. When you always knew someone was getting through when they showed you their backstory. Because they clearly took the time to like go back home and film like where they're
Yeah, they're not going to spend money on a field package. They're going to get kicked off.
Exactly.
Like, no point.
That's all you do when you watch reality TV, those like dream shows where you're just, at least me, I'm just crying the whole time because I'm like, look at this person, they've been through so much, and now they're gonna sing this song by Celine Dion and everything's gonna be okay.
Right.
Like, their dad is gonna undie from cancer right now.
You know what reality show I love to watch, that I watch a lot of, that was very funny, is the Kids Baking Championship on Food Network. It's like these like 8 to 11-year-old kids that compete, and I have no idea how they know any of these recipes. And I was staying up late last night watching an episode, and this kid, his cake just fell apart, and he put on like all these like parts, like banana pieces on it to try and make it look good. And the judges sat him down and they were like, unfortunately, the chunks of banana did not help your presentation. And he started crying.
No, is his mom there?
And they were like, your dad is backstage. We are going to go get him now.
Good.
And they got his dad. His dad was like, you calm down. You got this. And he was like, okay, Dad. And he was like, it's so sad.
Abuse.
I can't watch people be mean to kids.
No, they are able to deliver criticism in a way that it's nice the way it's done.
It's really just sad. They're not being mean to the kids, but it's so sad watching kids in a kitchen like stressfully like cook. Like there's that GIF that goes around so often.
Yes.
It's like that little kid who's crying while he's whipping the mashed potatoes, and you're like, oh
The
my
Gordon
God.
Ramsay version of the MasterChef Junior, whatever. He's
That's the one
crying.
I cannot watch.
Yeah.
It's like Hell's Kitchen Kids, and
It's
you're like,
so sad.
Yeah.
Whenever that GIF shows up on my feed, I literally cry.
Yeah.
I'm like, this poor little boy, his mashed potatoes are running.
It's so sad. And they're using like safety knives. And they're like, what flavor do you think goes with peanut butter, Tommy? And he's like, cinnamon? And they're like, Tommy!
oh, God, I love that. Well, moving on, thanks to a new app, you no longer have to look at photos of your ex. Chrome, with a K, promises to seamlessly remove your ex from any shared pics within hours. The service uses AI technology and a team of professional editors to work some editing magic to help you next your ex.
Ooh.
I love this. But first, my first question is, do you guys go back with exes and remove photos, or do you leave them, or do you not even take photos in the first place?
If you're smart enough, you will avoid taking and posting all photos knowing full well that the relationship will end.
That's very optimistic and romantic of you.
I dated a psychopath who would force me to post photos of him. It was the worst thing. He'd be like, you have to retweet me. You have to like my tweets. You have to post at least 3 Instagrams a week. And I was like, this is horrible.
So he just wanted followers from you.
Yeah,
It sounds
no,
like.
it sucked because he had like way more followers than I
Uh-oh.
did. He was like a YouTuber. And I was like, you should be promoting me on your channel. Because also like I was way hotter than him. But I personally loved deleting each and every photo myself. So I wouldn't pay someone else to do it because I loved being like, go fuck yourself. I hope you die. It was like so much fun.
That must feel good.
Yeah.
Why spend money on therapy? Just do that. Just like,
Yeah,
delete,
that was
delete.
so much fun.
Right.
And like blocking him on everything, and you know, it's great.
But
I loved
it doesn't seem like there's much heartbreak in those delete. Like some people I would imagine are going through deleting photos, kind of sort of feeling sad. Yours is sort of like this victory, this revenge.
Yeah.
I think too for your like Instagram look, like let's say you went to an amazing vacation in some tropical location with your ex, maybe you don't want to delete those because you're like, I really enjoyed that vacation. So this app for $9 to $12 per photo, by the way, which is a lot of money, will delete that person out. So you can still be on the beach, but you'll just be like
That
this.
is so weird.
Nobody there.
Yeah, like
That is
look
so
at
weird.
me in the sunset. I'm just like by myself, like.
Yeah, it's like $9 a photo too. And
Yeah.
I'm like $9 a photo. Like, can you just like make him look really bad or something
Right.
instead? Like, or Photoshop like a hot.
Could you
I
put
don't
like
know,
Beyonce
person.
in it instead? Like $9, make
Justin
me
Thoreau
taller
on
and
my
like.
list.
Yeah.
That would be
great.
better if they take them out and then put in your celeb crush or somebody else.
Oh, I would
That's how
love
they.
that.
I would pay $9 for that.
Yeah.
The reason I think that's like a funny gag, but this is definitely being marketed as an actual tool.
Oh, for sure.
Right.
Which like I think that's weird to go back and like change the photos.
I agree. I think honestly.
Just delete them.
Delete them if they bother you that much. But if not, they're memories and part of your life, and you shouldn't be.
Yeah.
You know, if they were good memories, like pick
Yeah.
them up. They're part of your story.
That's
and
sort of
Instagram
how I
used to be
roll.
that. Then like let you scroll back. Like this is when I was with this person.
However, I know a girl whose name I will not say, who's a serial monogamist, and if you scroll through her Instagram, it's like, okay, that's when she dated Dave, that's when she dated Ben, that's when she dated Eric, and it's so awkward. You like see these posts being like kind of recycled, and it's like the same Christmas tree, different dude. Like
Yeah.
at that point, you know what I
Imagine
mean?
being one of those guys that are like, wait a second.
Yeah,
It's going, like-
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm not special.
It's like a horror movie. Like you're
Yeah.
replaceable.
It's weird when
Yeah.
you can read their captions and you realize that they like say the same things to
Right.
them too, and call them the same like little nicknames, and you're
Oh,
like, ew, why
that
do you
is
call
weird.
them all
Weird.
like Snooky Poo? And you're like, you're nasty.
I think the key for me has been I do post with a boyfriend, but very sparingly, so that when we do break up, there's maybe like 3 or 4 photos, and they're nice, and I leave them. But I also look at my ex, and if they leave them, I leave them.
Okay.
Oh,
So if they delete.
that's a long game.
It's a long game. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but do you unfollow them?
No,
Yeah.
I follow all my exes.
It can be hard when you're like, if it's an emotional breakup, to continue to follow them. It might be difficult to keep seeing them.
Yeah.
So I've done.
You can mute them, though.
I've done unfollow, refollow. If they unfollow, it's a whole game.
Right.
It's a dance that you
dance.
must dance for years.
That's so funny. Sorry. Oh yes! And now it's time for one of our guests. Sue Aikens is a crowd favorite on Nat Geo's Life Below Zero, which follows resilient residents in Alaska as they tackle the crazy Alaskan wild. Sue lives 500 miles from the nearest city and 80 miles from the closest road. She owns and operates Kavik River Camp on the North Slope that she calls home. Let's take a look.
The most dangerous things you won't see coming. Something's not right.
You hope for the best, prepare for the worst.
This year is a changing of the guard.
Life Below Zero. New season premieres Tuesday, September 18th at 9 on National Geographic.
Everyone, please give a warm Build Brunch welcome to Sue Aikens. Woo! Thanks for being here.
Thank you for inviting me.
Of course, always. So tell us about this new season. It looks insane. I hate like anything that's under 75. I'm like, I'm freezing. So I don't know. I'm like, how are you alive?
You know, even to come here when I left, I started planning on November 6th. What month is this?
No idea.
November,
November.
right?
Yeah. I was like,
so
December.
I started planning on the 6th to get a bush plane to come in. I'm 500 miles from the closest town, right around 100 miles from any road. So they have to fly in, but the weather was not with me. Then it took me almost a week to just get the plane. But when I left, it was 22 below zero, and with the wind chill, 47 below zero yesterday morning. So, and the plane that they could take was a very small one. So they're like, you get 20 pounds. And I'm like, that's like one butt cheek. I mean, come on, what am I gonna wear?
So you only brought one butt cheek?
I only brought one butt. The rest has been bought. Okay. But this season, you know, the show's been going for a little while, and I can't speak as to everybody else, but there are things in my life that are definitely morphing. You know, I'm closer to 60 than 50. I've gotten a little chunky over the years. I had an accident a few years back that you got to witness on the show. And, you know, here's one of the scars here. Wow. And it took 9 surgeries. They had to take the bones from the left hip and leg to carve a new collarbone, shoulder joint, part of the upper arm. Now I've had to learn, you know, how to use it. And this year, I can't give away too much, but you're gonna see a real morphing. I'm getting ready for the next phase of my life. You get to see a cabin, some land in a cabin that I purchased. And I'm gonna have to ignore them so I can talk to you. But definitely, I set out, I'm doing more challenging things, more artistic things. The swearing still continues. I've got no social skills. Yeah. It's like, where else could you live? There was one scene where, after the accident, and the producer's like, we want you to, you know, the busted up machine is sitting there and it's all wilted. And they're like, you know, we want to see you, you know, just, you didn't get me. And I'm like, because that's my personality. Yeah, go inside, I'll open the door. And they're like, oh, a reveal, how nice. And I'm like, yeah. So I come in dragging a 12-pound sledge, and I'm like, nobody hurts baby. But that's, you know, that's my lifestyle. I'm challenge-driven, and everything about Kavik. As a Caucasian, I'm not allowed to own land on the North Slope. I have to lease it. If I want to live there, I have to have a business. So I took an old oil camp, turned it into a twisted bed and breakfast. It's like, throw another challenge on me. Yeah. That was simple. Yeah. And that's just how I live. There's a huge challenge that's going to be facing me this year, and it could topsy-turvy everything. The opening of the refuge to business means I may not be able to be a small business near it. And rather than feeling aggressive about it, I turned it around. I'm like, right. Well, then, if you're trying to force me out of my old life, I tell you what, I'm walking out. And I'm training and I'm getting ready to do a 350-mile hike from the Arctic Ocean to the Yukon River. Wow. So life always turns out the way it's supposed to, seldom how you think it will. But if you see yourself as the victim of a scenario, change that shit up. And be the master of the distance.
So it may snow this afternoon, and everyone's been freaking out.
I woke up this morning, I'm like, where's the flakes?
Yeah, everyone, like, we've been like, oh my God, are you ready for the snow?
There's gonna be flurries.
Meanwhile, you're hiking 400 miles and 20 below, and I'm just like, I shouldn't complain about the weather anymore.
But this season, it's we're gonna see our 100th episode, which is a huge mile marker.
Awesome.
And we've got new people on the show, and I think that's one of the nice things about the show is it's very, I'm still the furthest north, just saying, but it's very progressive as far as new people, new materials, you know, what does it really take? And some people choose, you know, you have the right to choose to go do your life a different way. You know, if you're weak-minded. No, but it's going to be very, very interesting. A lot of new things.
You said in a recent interview that you don't consider yourself to be a role model, though you really do inspire millions of people with the work that you do. And I mean, you survived this terrible accident, and just talking to you right now, I'm inspired from you. But why don't you see yourself in kind of like a traditional role model kind of
I
way?
think, and I'm not sure, it's quite possible that it came out of my mouth that way. But what I've said is to have fans and see yourself as a star. I think you need, as a human being, no matter what you're doing, I think you need to be very careful about putting yourself on a pedestal. Falling from heights is a painful process. So I try to keep it real. It's like I don't call the people that are on Facebook and Twitter and all that, they're not fans, they're home prize. They're people that I associate with. And some of them are very talented. I started a new page, and it's all about the artistic qualities that some of these people have. They're amazing. Some of them sing, dance. Little kids make up a huge part of my audience base and my fan base. And so, you know, I sponsor one person every week to go do a lesson. Well, I had a little child come up, and this is how they draw crayons. This is how you make a sun. This is how, you know, and I don't know that I don't see myself as a role model. I see myself as very brutally honest with who I am, very liberal with the swear words, incredibly intelligent, but good God, 2 husbands died to get away from me. I'm not easy. But if somebody can pick something out and enhance their life by that, well, go for it.
Yeah.
You know, one thing that people don't realize, anything you make, you know, I'm a grown-ass woman. I can make my own money. The show provides a little bit more. And, you know, we do get paid to do the show. I turn around, that's a blessing, and I pay that forward. It's only a blessing if you keep it going. So I take 4 to 8 kids with cancer or terminal illnesses, and I help their families and things. Not every medicine is covered. Not every pain thing is covered. So that's what I do is I help these children. And it makes me feel really good. But, you know, so I guess in some, and that I think is where that one interview came in, is do I see myself as a role model? No, I see myself as a decent goddamn human being, and that's the way we should all be.
God, I love you.
Yeah.
Wow. We're all home fries right now.
You're all home fries
So many home fries in this audience right now for you.
Yes.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
as a blessing about the TV show, has it made you more social and been able to connect with all these millions of people?
I have always been, my life was very different. I was born in Chicago as a very young child in the mid to late 60s. My mom wanted to leave my dad. Divorce was happening, still was not popular. So she chose to give me a paper bag and say, pack 1 sack, you're moving to Alaska. And I was not there long before she had her own things going on, and I found myself alone at a very young age having to figure out how to hunt and survive and finish school. I graduated high school just before my 13th birthday. In Alaska, you had a choice. You could learn how to drive a car or fly a plane. So I've flown a plane since I was 12 going on 13. When I became reproductive, I decided, well, I better not fling myself into the sky anymore for a while. Fair. But I do have a 1951 170A, so I'm flying again. You know, my grandson is 18. I can get back up in the air, you know.
Wow, this is just like our interview with Juliana Rancic. You have survived bear attacks, many hardships. Are you ever scared anymore?
I'm challenge-driven, and I totally spaced off your original message. Has the show made me more social? No, I'm a very social creature. I love to see the world. And I tell people, you know, like now, I enjoy talking to you. I have no desire to live anywhere near you. So the fact that this is a limited engagement works for me. You know, if it runs past the time where I'm supposed to be here, I'm going to be like, all right, this is not fucking cool. This is no more fun.
I think that's going to be my new catchphrase. I like talking to you. I have no desire to live anywhere near you. That is so good. But yes, are you scared?
Am I scared? I'm challenge-driven. We are all afraid of something. I don't care what it is. There are things in our lives that we perceive as fear or anger, and I think it's part of the human growth process to face that. I'm actually afraid, because of things that happened in my earlier life, I'm afraid of the dark, so I live someplace where it's dark a lot of the time. And I conquer that fear all of the time. Recently, oh, this is such a spoiler alert for next year. We were up in Kavik and we were filming, and I'm laying there. As a Caucasian, also one of the things, I'm not allowed a permanent dwelling, so I've been living in a tent for the show has been going for, I'm now filming season 7 for us, the year 7, but I've been at Kavik for almost 18 years. So I've been living in a tent off the Arctic Ocean for almost 18 years. Now I'm laying in bed and I'm hearing this horrific noise, and there's wolverines living under the building trying to get through to get to me. And they're snarling and growling, and so we thought, oh, this would make a great episode. You know, what the hell? Who has that? You know, what is wrong with me? But those things can, if you're living alone, your closest help, let's say right now, it's 47 below zero, winds are blowing, nobody's flying, and an animal's digging through your floor to eat you. That can be daunting. But I'm bigger than anything life throws at me. And when I'm not, it's called your expiration date.
Wow.
Oh, that was just like nervous laughter out of me. I cannot even imagine that reality. What do your friends and family think about?
My children are used to it. And every year, you know, I tell, and my children's father, you know, I make a joke about 2 spouses died to get away. They did, but maybe that wasn't the reason. But my son, you know, they had a very hard time accepting when their dad had passed away. And I told him, I said, you know, and that everybody figured I'd be the first one to go because I'm, you know, flinging myself at grizzlies, throwing myself off snow machines, dropping off of buildings. So I told him, I said, you know, it trashed you when you didn't get to say goodbye to your dad. In life, don't carry the guilt. You only carry baggage if you pick the suitcase up. Drop that Gucci shit and walk on with life. So I told him, every year we sit down and I'm like, right, tell me 3 things you absolutely can't stand about me that I did or that I said. Get it off your chest. Be careful I get even. And then tell me 3 things that are great. But every year we go through this ritual where they expunge some hard feelings and then come back. So your question, how do they deal with this, with my lifestyle? They want the best for me. They've known since they were turn off the titty that I do weird things in life. So they're used to it. The rest of my siblings, you know, I mean, I don't know. I don't worry too much about what other people think. When I'm in a social setting too long, it's like, oh my God, does my life make my ass look fat? I do worry about things like that. You guys did something with my hair, so it's like, I gotta go out with a boyfriend and have fun tonight. You know?
Oh, I love that.
Oh, man.
Well, Sue, thank you so much for being here.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes. And you can check out this season of Life Below Zero Tuesdays at 9 p.m. on National Geographic.
Woo.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're my hero.
The annual $1 million Victoria's Secret Fantasy Bra was revealed, and it includes diamonds and topaz. For a more affordable option, H&M has teamed up with Italian fashion company Moschino to release a lookalike bra that is only 0.02% of the price. Here's a clip of the fantasy bra debut from the upcoming Victoria's Secret fashion show.
Yeah. Gave love about 100 tries, just running from the demons in your mind. You don't have to say just what you did. I already know. I had to go and find out from there. So tell me how's it feel? Tell me how's it feel? I'm a user, I'm a mess for your love, it ain't new. Hey, I'm obsessed, I'm embarrassed.
Ooh, what does Sue think of the Victoria's Secret fashion show?
I
want to
mean,
know.
going from Sue to this is just total bullshit.
I want Sue's commentary on that.
Oh my God, she's like, $1 million bra.
Yeah, I wonder if any of those models can fend off a bear.
No,
Definitely not.
I don't think a bear even wants to eat that. There's no meat on it. There's no fat.
Oh, yeah.
That's not nourishment. The bra's fine. I don't know. What do you guys think about it?
Is it for sale? I don't know why we're
No.
talking about the price.
They do this every single year, and they have like their top model wear it, and then I don't know what they do with it afterwards.
I can't believe this is still a thing. To me, this is so outdated that we have this fashion show.
One, I think Victoria's Secret is outdated, and 2,
Yeah.
yes, this fashion show is like, I don't understand why this is still
A thing.
a thing.
And the comments they've made recently are so wild that I'm like, are you guys not self-aware at all? Have you just been like putting bras over your face so you don't know what's happening in the world?
Can you tell the comments? I mean, it was about transgender models and over like plus size models.
Basically, they said they do not want plus-size or transgender models.
Yes, it was, I forget the guy's name, and then he backtracked and said, no, of course we want them. We let them audition, try it. They just don't make it.
Right.
Yeah.
I wonder why they don't make it.
Yeah.
I would love to, if you have auditioned for Victoria's Secret, let me know. I doubt that they even audition anyone. I know, they just have like Kendall Jenner and Gigi Hadid. Those are the only people they have there.
They have like these supermodel stars that we all know. Do it.
I mean, there's like that separation. This is definitely fantasy, and then you can look at a company like Dove, and they have the Dove campaign, and they embrace women of all shapes and sizes and colors, and I guess they just don't want to be an inclusive brand, and it's up to us as consumers then to react accordingly if we don't support that idea, you know?
Yeah, I do get my underwear from them.
Do you like them? I started mixing like from friends or girls. And
no, I mean, they're like, I remember growing up thinking that they were like a classy brand, but in the last 10 years, especially with like Pink, they're just trash, I feel. But they might be great if they're sponsoring.
Hey, but then again, if they sponsor us, we'll all wear them.
Yeah, I mean, if they sponsored us, then they'd be like, wow, we finally got some plus-size models. Look at Shannon, she's so fat. And we'd be like, hey, Victoria's Secret, cool out.
I'll wear the $1 million bra, right? Of the
you do have the pecs.
Yeah, you do have the best rack of titties.
They would be like offended by that, but
yeah, I can't imagine paying more than like 25 cents for a bra. Like, as an 8-cup titty woman, like, they're just like, I don't get bras. I wear them because sometimes when I don't, people are like, your nipples! And I'm like, please stop.
Speaking of nipples, have you guys seen those weird nipple cover things?
Yeah,
like
I love
wreaths
those.
and
What?
There's ways to adorn your nipples now.
Honestly, I could not think of a better way to celebrate the birth of baby Jesus than
yeah.
Christmas feast around your nips.
I think just two
sounds
Jesus
perfect.
faces all over your nips.
Dude,
Yeah.
that'd be perfect.
Yeah.
We should come out with that.
The Virgin Mary over your nips.
Yeah.
Look at those. It's so funny.
So when are you supposed to wear those?
To Christmas, hello.
Parties or...
A family member's funeral. You gotta cheer up the mood.
Yeah, to mass. You know, if you're Catholic, you wear it to
midnight mass. Yeah.
midnight mass. Yeah.
That's nice.
And then with the million, yeah. And then H&M made a $200 version of the $1 Million Bra because
which is still too much money.
Yeah,
to
it's
spend
still a
on
lot of
bra.
money.
Yeah, I don't know, guys. Just put some masking tape over your titties. Like, you don't need to pay. Like, there's people dying in the world, and some dumb girl's like, I'm gonna put diamonds on my nipples. Diamonds are rough. They don't belong on your nipples.
Right. But are there clothes though that you guys will shell out money for? Are there brands?
Why? No. Sorry. Continue.
No, it's just a question.
No.
Not really. I don't really spend that much on anything other than travel. Like, I'll spend money on a trip, but like for something I'm putting on my body, here's my thing. I suck at laundry. I end up ruining things always.
Right.
So anything nice that I've bought, I ruin. So I just don't buy nice things.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how I roll.
What about you?
Yeah, I like clothes, but like I don't go out crazy. But like J. Crew I think is not too bad. But when I move back to New York, I've definitely gone back to J. Crew. When I lived in LA, I got into like that James Purse stuff. It's very expensive though, but I will say
because you don't have the most adventurous.
I do not. You're right. I do not.
So you like to go indulge on the same.
I like my shorts. Yeah,
he likes quality fabrics.
Yeah, so I do like this shirt I'm wearing. Oof, it's soft.
Look at it. Looks nice. Looks expensive. Moving on now, it's time for our next guest. Vladimir de Fontenay is best known as director of 2015's Memoria. Today he joins us with actress Imogen Poots to talk about their upcoming project, Mobile Homes. The film follows a young mother who drifts from one motel to another with her boyfriend and son until the discovery of a mobile home community that offers an alternative life. Let's take a look.
Go into the house, you make sure no one's home. Okay? Go.
What are we gonna do?
We're gonna be fine. We just gotta get enough money and get out of here before anyone else gets hurt.
So what do you guys do when you're not hijacking people's houses?
You know, I got a plan for how we can all be together. You know that.
Is one of your doll houses available?
Do you like it here?
Yep.
So can you do as I say and listen to me?
I guess this is not really my idea of a home.
It's a house. A home is what you build inside of it.
I saw Ivan's truck and I think he's here. And if you see him, you need to run. You come find me.
I like it here.
You said anything about leaving?
Where are we going? Sit down!
The mother will do anything to protect her child.
Everyone, please give a warm Build Brunch welcome to Vladimir de Fontenay and Imogen Poots. Woo! How you guys doing today?
We're good.
Yeah.
You guys wrestled any bears like our last guest?
Yeah.
No, must do that.
Yeah, put that on your list.
Yeah.
But first, let's talk about this amazing movie. We just got to see the trailer. So, Vlad, can you kind of take us through the concept of it?
Well, it's the story of a young mother sort of trapped in an abusive relationship with a man she loves, and that's sort of constantly putting her in trouble. And she's with her 8-year-old son, and she's sort of like having to figure out along the way how to make a home, both literally and metaphorically, for themselves.
Yeah. And where did that idea come from? Because I'm sure this is a struggle that a lot of Americans have. Where did the idea come from?
So I was driving upstate New York. I was in film school at the time, and I was on the highway. And at some point, I thought a truck passed me, and I looked, and it wasn't just a truck. It was a truck sort of like towing a mobile home. I was sort of like a striking vision of just sort of like this floating house in the landscape, and it was like so metaphorical for like a lot of sort of just personal things that like I was sort of struggling with at the time. You know, sort of like where was my home? Like I had been in Italy and then the U.S. and I'm from France, and so I was constantly sort of like thinking, you know, sort of where do I belong? Sort of where are my roots? And I had this feeling of sort of like being free and also trapped in that sort of like movement. And then I started creating sort of characters that had that sort of those sort of struggles or like those sort of like dilemmas. And that's sort of like how it works.
Yeah, I can see that being a very captivating image.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I think it is, and I'm still looking. Like I was driving in New Orleans like a couple of days ago, and then I saw a mobile home being towed on a truck, and I was like, okay, I'm following it.
Yeah. Imogen, how did you become involved in the project?
Vlad sent the script over, and I had a read of it, and just really loved how feral the female protagonist was and the conflicts she had to experience and deal with. I loved the kind of atmosphere of the script. It was very like elemental, like everything was very kind of immediate, and nothing was done half-heartedly in the script. It was kind of an extraordinary challenge that a writer and director laid out for the actors. So I just immediately was like, this is so cool and interesting, and there were roosters in it, which is always a plus, and there was a child in it, which was interesting. I hadn't played a mother before. And then we sat down and had some overpriced coffee in London and started talking about it.
Wow. And do you think one of the reasons that you were drawn to telling this story was because of those like sort of personal things it turned up in you, or why was it so important for you to tell?
I think there's that, and there's also just, you know, like I don't consciously think about those things. It's sort of like there's an image that sort of like stick to you, and it sort of resonate with like feelings. And then you just sort of like and it's a very instinctive process. Like I don't necessarily put it like my fingers like I want to talk about that, you know. And then, but what I end up finding is like often, because like this is not my home. Like you know, I'm very much of an observer, and so the things that I can sort of like hold on to are like very sort of like basic sort of universal like feelings that I think we can all sort of like share. And so like you know that feeling of like you know. Just like growing up like as a young boy and like seeing sort of like your parents sort of like doing their best, and like these are things that I think we can all relate to, or like just sort of like feeling trapped in a sort of like relationship that we can't sort of put an end to, or yeah.
Right.
And Imogen, you just mentioned before that you never played a mother before, and this particular character is quite interesting because she kind of flaunts that dangerous line between independence and irresponsibility, especially as she has a young son. So how did you now get into your mindset of being a mother, but being a mother who is struggling with her own demons?
Yeah, it's complicated. I mean, it was hard not to judge her, you know, reading it. So, but then your work and your job is to defend that person. So with the material there and sort of trying to understand the direction her life is going in according to the script is excusing her or definitely carrying that judgment in herself. I mean, there's a lot of guilt and confusion there. It was by no means like a simple understanding of why she behaves the way that she does. But that was sort of part of the story, and that's exciting. It's the same as playing a murderer, you know, how do you find that empathy and try to understand why someone has done what they've done? Not comparing it, that's quite an intense comparison. But I think, yeah, in the sense of kind of working with something that isn't easy or immediately lovable is exciting for a female actress rather than a male actress, because because you have to you get to play someone who's unlikable, and that's a very rare thing to come by, I find personally.
Absolutely.
So it is a dark drama. Did you guys do anything to keep it light on set? Were there any funny moments or bloopers within this drama? Do any quick fart jokes on the side?
Well, there was a lot of dark moments because like it was very, very, very cold. There were like snowstorms.
It was the Arctic vortex.
Yeah, so it was
one
just
of those.
very hard for everyone. Like the crew, and like you're shooting at night exterior. it's very, very hard. And I think, I mean, it comes into play a little bit, I think, in the movie where we just definitely got inspired by like, weather. And, but well, the roosters, that was sort of fun.
There was fun. There was lots of like birds and animals and children and cool locations. And ultimately, like making a film it's really, I'm sure watching from afar, it's a very funny thing to watch unfold. I always think this, because it's basically people like losing their minds, worried about the sun going down, and just kind of there's a crazed atmosphere, but often within the chaos, that's where the work comes out of. And plus Callum Turner was a dear friend of mine before, so working with one of your best friends like that, you're always going to laugh a lot, even despite the kind of circumstances or whatever. So I think we kept it light that way too.
Yeah.
And this premiered at Cannes, so what was that kind of experience like, and what was the feedback like?
It was great. It was, because for a long time I didn't really know, I mean, we didn't really know what was going to happen with the movie.
Yeah.
You know, it's always like a bit of a mystery. You're like, you've worked so hard and then you just
someone
sort of
else's.
Yeah, it's in somebody else's hands. And you have no idea whether it's just a group of people like completely unconscious that made something that like, is, you know, it's not going to be seen, or like, and then when we found out it was going to get into Cannes, we just got so excited. And I mean, personally, I have my family in Paris, so I got everybody down, and it's just nice, and it was a beautiful moment. And
it was, and it's also just like the best kind of acceptance, as Vlad just said, for something where you have worked really hard, and then you're like, are we all crazy and deluded because we loved each other during the process? You then love the work, and you hope that it's kind of going to have a life, but you really never know with these films. You never really know what's going to happen. So that was like the best reception, and also just in terms of Cannes, like people are so open to each other's films, like first time, or especially in that specific category, right? They're like first time filmmakers and people who are revisiting with something else, and there's just a sense of people are just curious as to what someone else has made, and often there is like a theme that starts to happen at those types of festivals where someone's gone out and made something very similar to someone else, and it's like, what's going on in the world that, you know, we need to tell those stories.
It's so exciting. Thank you guys, both of us.
Thank you so much.
Thank God.
Thank God.
You're
Thank you, Vlad and Imogen, for being here. It's so great talking to you.
Thank you so much.
And you can catch Mobile Homes when it hits theaters this Friday. It'll also be on digital and on demand on January 22nd. Vlad will also be doing a Q&A this weekend at Cinema Village in New York City, so go check that out. That's all from us today. We'll see you tomorrow, same time, same table.